Recording in progress.
It's 420, which is so appropriate because we're coming in hot for Slay 2, blazing away. It's a very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Yes.
Very, 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 very. This is hands down one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
As I was watching it, I remembered, last year, I feel like Krampus was the big one from the 25 Slays. That was like, yeah, like this, if I had to make an ultimate 25, like a list of my ultimate 25 Christmas movies, those two are sure locks. Krampus and A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing this shit in theaters. I think I saw it in theaters twice. And that's, back when the 3D craze was still going on.
I don't know. Hasn't the whole 3D thing jumped the shark by now?
I don't know, man. All these auteur directors have like the 3D technology, and nobody made a better 3D movie than Harold and Kumar. Like, that was one of the best movies I ever saw in 3D.
No, yeah. I remember being real hyped when I first, because I remember like when they were announcing, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing Harold and Kumar 3, and they just like, it's going to be 3D. And it was like, all right, I vibe with that. Like a lot of people at the time, I think Jackass was doing it with Jackass 3D.
And Jackass was the other people who did it very well.
They did do it very well.
All these other like big time filmmakers are trying to be fancy with it, and they're just like, nah, let's just throw shit at the screen.
And then then Harold and Kumar, and then they're like, and it's gonna be a Christmas movie, and I just, oh man, I remember getting real hype at that shit. Like, oh shit, hell yeah, yeah, no, solid front to back, man. I love like the added cast members they've got.
Yeah,
they got
the new friends and stuff. Yeah,
I think they played it off pretty well. One of my favorites still to this day is when the guys from Reno 911, that guy, he's in the back, and he's like,
what singing group is that?
That's the Wu-Tang Clan.
The Wu-Gang band?
Wu-Tang Clan, Todd.
Harry, when did you turn into Mr. Rap Hop expert?
I died laughing the first time I had seen that.
This was the first time I ever put two and two together in my head, that like he's constantly talking about Wu-Tang throughout this whole movie, and RZA's in this movie.
You fucking lost your gangster grill.
I know.
How you gonna be a gangster and you lose your grill?
I'm not one.
I gotta wear those tomorrow.
I know.
You know I still love you though, right?
I think you do.
I don't know why, but I do love you, man.
Thank you.
Like, I knew that as two separate facts, but this was the first time I ever put the two things together watching it this time around, and I'm just like, duh, And I love RZA's scene. And actually, this was the first time I watched the extra dope edition, the extended cut. It's like 6 minutes longer, and like I could tell, like I'd seen this movie enough times where I'm like, this shit is all new. The longest like thing that they extended was the claymation scene.
Dude, we're claymated.
Awesome.
It was like fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually found out that the people that did that scene is that stop motion company that did Coraline and Paranorman and like all those like movies, and I'm like, that makes it even better.
No, that's great, because it goes back to those classic Christmas movies that we all grew up on and shit. And when they hit that scene, it's just it's
in the theatrical version, when the claymation thing happens, they've got that song playing. It's like it's a very merry day for you to die.
Yeah,
and it's great. But in the extended cut, they don't play the song. Like the whole sequence is just extended, and like there's more chaos and carnage and just crazy shit happening. And at the end of it, like, I don't know, you see all of it play out instead of it being sung about in the song, I guess. And it was interesting to say the least.
Nice,
but
man.
Yeah, the 3D, I loved it. Like, even at the beginning, it was like, it's gonna
be amazing. Who are you looking at?
Fucking all of it.
No, like I said, one of my favorites. I watch it every fucking year since it came out. Every year at Christmas time, it's a must. It's a must for me. And I've watched it already. And you know what's gonna happen before Christmas? Probably Christmas Eve. I'm gonna watch it again.
Watch it again. Yeah, the waffle bot stuff is hilarious. I laughed just as hard watching it this time as I have every other time I watch it. I mean, it's Kumar. Looks weird. Fucking honestly, watching it this time around too, I like could tell just how much influence these movies have had on me. when it comes to comedy, because I just started thinking of so many of the ridiculous scenarios within Chase and Shep, that like so much of like what we build around Chase and Shep is pretty much this formula of like, here are these two dudes who are friends, but also these crazy fucking scenarios happen to them all the time, and it's like completely normal. Like, yeah, they just shoot Santa Claus in the face and like get kidnapped by the mob and like all this shit, and it's just wild as fuck. And I love it. And Phil and I, like, you know, these were some of our favorite movies. Like we grew up, you know, watching this shit together, and we were big on the buddy comedies, you know, homie for life. So out of the three of them, this is like my favorite Harold and Kumar movie too.
Oh yeah, no, I just
Because
think
it's like it's so mature. Like to see them like grow, especially the older I get, the more I love this movie. Like,
oh, I heard them fuck
definitely
around
tackles
talking
some
about a
stuff,
fourth
yeah.
one.
I know, fucking.
And I'd be on board with it.
Especially, it's been over 10 years now since this last one came out. That was 2011, and the last one left it off with them having kids, so the kids would technically be like, you know, 10 at least at this point.
I'm
would
with
totally be down for that. I would totally be
yeah.
down for a fourth one at this point.
I'm
Like, it's
down.
been
I'm
long
down
enough.
to see them as adult dads struggling,
Hell
as an
yeah.
adult dad struggling.
Give
so.
us one more. Give us one more.
So
that's it.
what sort of score do you give this one?
I think this is the one I'm gonna give a big one to. I was thinking 8, but honestly, the more I watched it, the more I'm just like, nah, I gotta give it a 9.
Mhm.
It's held up so much over the years. Even now, to say that it's been over 10 years since this movie came out, and it's still just as good, if not even better, every time I see it. You know, it's lovely.
Yeah, no, I say I agree. 9, solid ass movie. It was great way to end their trilogy.
The Christmas in it is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Like the Christmas spirit in this thing is cranked to 11.
And like I said, just everybody in the supporting cast, Danny Trevino,
Danny Trejo,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah. As
That
the,
guy,
as the father-in-law,
scary
I love
as fuck.
I love that scene at the end where Harold's like, and you're gonna show me some fucking respect. Like, I was like, hey, Harold, and fucking he loved it.
I just love the the random comedy in it with the guy. My favorite part is at the beginning when they're all in there and decorating the tree, and he's like,
Pepe, where are the ornaments?
I don't know, Theo. My eyes are all fucked up.
Fucking, I love that part.
And Neil Patrick Harris in
course.
this one, just
Yeah.
funny as fuck with the way he
just switches on and off with this
this
persona of his.
Yeah, and it's like you know who he is in real life, and then you see
Right.
him in this movie, and then he's like, oh no, that's just an act. That's just
The
it's-
mythical Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, because he's been dead in the series at that point, so who knows?
Yeah. Well, in this one, they go through the whole thing where he goes to heaven, and he's like, that part was extended too. That one was definitely a longer scene as he goes and like steals the women from Jesus, and then Jesus gets him kicked out of heaven, sends him back.
Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to heaven. I'm Jesus.
Jesus.
Christ. I practically run this place.
Oh, for reals?
I mean, my dad owns it, but I'm kind of number one.
You're one of those.
And it's like, yeah, and he's just awful. He's just this terrible, terrible, awful person. It's just like, whatever. I love it.
Yeah, no, great.
And
movie.
he's the one that says in that movie, "Hey, see you for the fourth one, guys." So
Gotta happen.
I love the scene where Kumar's trying to make the plot to like steal the Christmas tree from Midnight Mass, and it's all like the slow-mo like still shots, and it's like, I've got a plan, and they send the kid in, and it's like pillow fight in the altar boys room, and all the preachers are like chasing him down.
Right,
and shit.
yeah.
And it's like that whole sequence in 3D was fantastic. Down to Danny Trejo jizzing on the tree. It was just it was all like, if I wrote a 3D movie, it would be that same kind of shit. It's like, what can we do to just like make things be like, hey, like fucking, we're just gonna throw shit at the screen. I love it.
I'm with it. Great movie. Haven't seen it, go see it. It's on
Go see it.
Netflix, I believe. And yeah, I watched it on Netflix. You got it on DVD. And as always, family, give us a Christmas gift and like and subscribe and shit like that.
All that stuff.
All that stuff.
ChaseandShip.com. You know the drill.
Hit the websites, the ones and twos. We'll be coming at you tomorrow with another slate.
With another slay. Slay you later. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of slays. Tuck yourself
Jingle
out.
bells, Jack Frost smells, Bill Goldberg laid an egg. Max fucked up and Cody sucks, but Santa got away. Hey, jingle bells, Jack Frost smells, Bill Goldberg laid an egg. Max fucked up and Cody sucks, but Santa